How are you doing? Ralph here, Ralfy Customs. Bit of a mixed bag, bit of a twofer. This one is. We're going to start the electrics box on the Triumph, but we have to wait for materials because this is future self doing this. And we're going to get on jocks and we're going to finish his frame. So Chop Dyna's going to get finished. I'll make a bit more progress on the Triumph. Let's get on. So we're on to CAD. We're on to a cardboard aided design. We've got a fresh sheet of stainless under there in that wrapping, and we've got various bits of cardboard. See, look, that one's come all the way from the rainforest, that has. I ain't even joking. What I've already done is formulated the top and the bottom. So quite simply, top's going to sit in the frame nicely, if it'll fucking behave, something like that. And then I've made a mark where the bottom of the electrics box needs to come, and we've copied the front shape, so we'll emulate that curve with the bottom. What I'll do is I'll measure from under there where I need it to be down to there, and do the same at the front, and then we can taper back in, make a cardboard back, tape that in and make a bit for the front, the little bridge piece, before we work out what the fucking big wrap around front of it's got to be like. Rightio this, so I won't take you through all of the CAD, but I'll show you how I do it. We need a good blade and a craft knife. Yeah, I've just put a new one in here. Pencil, marker pen, ruled square. And we're going to do it like this is a scribe and that is a shear or cutting saw or whatever it is that you're going to cut steel with. So I just treat everything like metal really. So what I'm going to do is give myself a clean edge to work to. Like this, hopefully. Yeah. And now I can square off that like this. And I can go straight in with the blade, look. Like that, but better. Yeah. And then I want 11.5 this way. So let's put that over actually. It's easier for me. So we'll go 11.5. Fucking hell. That's right on the fucking taking a piss there, look. So that on at 11.5. I'm hoping I've got enough height here, I might not have. It needs to be 5 inches. I'll have to weld a bit in with that. So off that straight edge we'll go 5 inches, and then we realise that I was absolutely right. Look, we ain't got enough. There's a corner missing. So not the best demonstration, is it? It's not like me to not think things through before I start off, eh? Fuck me. Anyway, you get the picture. So that's all lined up. If it weren't for that fuck up there, that would be the back, but I'll probably just put a piece in, find a square corner, or make a square corner, I should say. Like that. Put that on there, square it up, and then I can tape it. I'll just fucking tape it. So we know we need a bit about that big, look. So we'll get that on, get it lined up, and tape it into place, and that'll give us the back, which we can then tape into place on these bits, and so on and so forth. I think I need a new roll of fucking tape on the job. What do you reckon? So make sure that's level. Here we go. No harm or foul. So we'll get, I'll set that up properly and we'll get it in place on the base and the top. So that gives us this fucking, looks like a bit of a funky seat base, don't it? But it actually folds up that way into the beginnings of the box. A tricky feature in these is there's a curve in the back wall. So we have to roll a bit to suit the shape of the mud guard that comes into that space, if you dig. So what I'm going to do now is make a front bit 9 inches. I'll get some sturdy cardboard, yeah, some thicker stuff, a bit of quarter plate like equivalent, and make it 9 inches long and about that wide. And then that can get taped in the gap there. Can't it? It needs to end up fucking... how it ends up. We'll go and have a look. I'll get that on and then we'll take it over to the bike and see how it fits. And after much a fucker about it, we have got the carcass look. We've got a see-through electrics box in there. We've got some webbing and supports in there. So I won't do that with a real one, obviously, but just to aid our CAD, so it's not too my cock's a floppy. And that's not quite straight up there, so the bottom could do with moving out a little bit, which suits. I've been fucking struggling to get that in the CAD, so that could be a tweak it as we do it when we make it out of stainless. Right, that's the easy bit done, if you like. What I've got to do next is I'll free the beast, so let's get this shit off like that. What we've got to do next is try and work out the shape of the front. So we lay it on a piece of card and we roll it and we draw around it, taking care not to deform it as we fucking go. And then we deassemble it. And we've got a top and a bottom and a back and a front, basically. And we use... I'm going to use this 16 gauge. This is new to me. I normally make it all out of the same stuff, but I'm going to do it heavy duty top and bottom 16 gauge. I think it'll work a lot better. And because I've not got to shape it, or I've not got to roll it or twist it or fuck about with it too much, that'll be sound. And then 1.2. There's a sheet of 1.2 there with my nifty fucking boots in. Something like that. Now, it's really fucking awkward not to deform this as you're rolling it around and trying to draw around it and all the fucking rest of it. So what my plan is to see that as a guide and a guide alone. Stick it over here a lot. And then I'll cut out the bottom and the top and the back and get those shaped up and tacked together. And maybe tack a sprag in. The proper word that is sprag, but most probably not, because it's fucking stainless and it'll be a cunt to get rid of it. Or I could leave it in, I suppose. It wouldn't really matter, would it? I'm not happy with that. I always find these challenging. I shy away from them in stainless because it's really hard stuff for me to work with. You know, it don't yield very well and you get burnt doing it, and TIG welding's the most difficult form of welding that I do. So we'll see. I think it needs, oh, not breaking like that for a start off. Yeah, we'll get those bits cut out. I'm waiting for my new shear to come, but it won't cut this 1.6 anyway. I think it's rated to 2 miles, so it should cut that 1.2. Fingers crossed. There's my fucking snazzy legs again. We'll get them cut out with a cutting saw and cleaned up, the top and the bottom, and then look at cutting the back out. I might do that today before my cutter comes, and see about rolling it into shape and then tacking the three things together. Right, so we've used a poor man's die cam see the scratch line like in that black marker pen where we've gone round the cardboard templates. So I did think about getting a plasma cutter out and doing them, but it's going to make a fucking mess, basically. I may as well just do them with a cutting disc in the angle grinder and then sand them up to shape. Don't put any cutting. Like I say, staying working with stainless is not my favourite thing, but respect to it. You need everything to get. I don't know what you fucking need. It's not my best friend. Right, so with all the obvious bits sanded up, what I need to do then is put it on the bench like this and draw around it. Yeah, then I flip it to see how it compares. Line it up. Look, I'm going to struggle to do this on camera, but I've done it off camera, and we can see there's a gap there. Look. So that's a bit shy, and if I push it up a little bit, you can see there's a gap there, so that's a bit shy. So we'll take the eye spots off to make it symmetrical. So we're going to grind this off, or sand this off, and sand off along there. And then repeat. Do the same again, clean that off, and repeat until it's about bob on. Hey, righto, so fair out. There's those two. You can see how many attempts I had, look, at getting it balanced, and thickness of the line is fucking good enough, you know. So what I need to do now is make the rear, this bit, chucking it everywhere, and I know that's 11.5 inches wide and 5 inches tall, and it's got a bit of a curve in it. Now I'm going to check out my little rollers, see if I can do something with that. The problem I'm going to have is that they don't roll immediately from the edge of the material. You have a gap, don't you? You have a flat bit before the start. So I might have to cut something a bit longer, like 7 inches. 7 inches wide, 11.5 inches long, and offer it up to the rollers and see if we can get that little bit of a curve on it.
Don't forget, folks, our Fuckstock stickers are now available in our Etsy store, link in the description below. Fuckstock, you know it makes sense.
Sneaky peek. Look, there's the forks in her. I'm going to drop the top yoke on. They're not a direct fit, but it's good enough for comparison purposes. We'll get the top yoke on. Yeah, and then maybe drop the shockers on that we're going to run and see if we need to fucking add much of a rake to the old girl, like, ain't it? Right, here she is, boys. Ready, you'll remember, all clamped up. And we made, look, 2 sets. So this is for my Dyna. There's headstock for each one for mine. And there's the square to round adapter, that's still warm. I've just finished machining that. I sussed it in the end with that face cutter. It needs a deeper, it needs 60 thou cut, will take nicely. 80 is a bit much, I reckon. 40 is a bit too light, so you get a better finish with a 60 thou cut, which we did on that one. They're just roughed out. We'll machine them properly to size before we fit them. But before we can do that, we need to cut the frame so we can see what size we need. So I am aiming to cut the frame somewhere about here, maybe straight down there. It's going to be hard work with the engine in, and the bottom rails are going to get cut off where this casting is, and we'll see what's going on in there. So I reckon we'll use the grinder as much as we can and then switch over to the axle or something similar. Can you see where I've been? Ooh, so, there you go. That's had a fucking headstock ectomy. And what we're left with is these plugs, look, in the casting. So I'll machine up something that fits in that hole and fits in the frame tube, the new frame tube, a slug, and I'll grind these down, I think, sand them down. There's a weld prep and clean all the enamel off, obviously. That's good. This one, and now I can clean this up and I can measure what this needs to be for my adapter, and why the top tube's not in the way. I'll box this in. Yeah, so we'll get that sanded off camera. We'll get it sanded up and prep ready. Then we'll make them slugs for the bottom, and then we'll machine that down to fit, and then we can get the headstock on as well. Fucking happy days. Right, I stand corrected. It's dark around here, isn't it? As far as these bottoms go, because my new tube that I'm going to use pretty much fucking drops straight in there. With a bit of a clean up, I'll be in, look. There we go. Straight in there, just like the standard one. So we'll give it a weld around and up to the new headstock, which is setting the clamp. Yeah, ready. I think what I'm going to do next is get this machine down and mock it up, see where the angle of the dangle and if there's a gap, and fill this in and shit. Yeah. So there's the final thing. Machine down. There's a slight step there, look, because I didn't want this to be too thin, and that works off rather well. I think you'll agree. So that goes in there, backbone goes in there, up to the headstock, which I'll position next. I just want to see about where this needs to come, and we'll be happy days. So there we have the adapter, the top tube, and the headstock. Excuse me, losing my voice a bit. Some of you will be pleased to know. In situ, and we've gone from 30 degrees to 34 degrees, and that gets us just where we need to be, at that 31 inches from the bottom of the headstock to this straight edge off the bench. So that's allowed for the extra forkage by putting a bit more rake in it. Moved it slightly forward at the bottom, because this bit was 12 inches we cut out, and that's now 11 3/4 or just over. So let's move back a little bit at the top and forward a little bit at the front. We've evened it out, and that's that mocked up. So what I'll do now, I'll go ahead, I'll cut a piece of flat to blank that off and weld it in place, and then work out the front rails, I reckon. We'll get the tubes all mocked up before we do any welding. That should be happy days. So jump forward a little bit, look, and we've now got one front rail mocked up. I've just moved this out of the way while I was sorting bits and bobs out, and we've also got a nice little piece that'll drop in there, look. So we'll put it flush with the magnet, like so. Get some tacks on it, and then I think we can get the top tube where it needs to be. Get some tacks on it. Same with this block. You know, get that in the middle again. And then we just need to emulate this rail on the other side. So I've not bothered showing you me cutting this and grinding and fucking about, marking angles and trimming it up, because it's just cutting and grinding. If that's something that you really want to see, like, I'll be quite happy to film it if it's not going to be fucking boring for you. So I'll show you how I notch tubing. Don't always go right. Sometimes you end up fucking it up, but that's just the nature of it. You know, cut it a bit short or whatever. But let me know in the comments, and I'll show you me making the rails fit as good as they need to fit. Yeah, happy days. Right, so this is take fucking 3 because I've just recorded this and didn't press record. Got both rails in place now, top tube all tacked in, and I think what I'm going to do is weld underneath, weld all of this underneath while I'm here, yeah, and look at putting a bit of inch tubing across for a final brace for the headstock, and then it's a case of weld it up and Bob's your answer. With that welded up, what I'm thinking, I've been in the parts box in my bends and don't throws aways and found a nice bit of inch tubing that I might fucking put in there. I might leave it with the bend on, I quite like that. It's either that or imagine it's straight. Straight works. So does that. So let's have a look. I'll mitre this end and offer it up and see if we can hit this sweet spot with that. Something like that, I think. And there we have it. So, regulator rectifier bracket in place. To be honest, I've lost a bit of footage. You should have seen me a speeded up version of me welding it all, but the old phone's been playing up a bit. I think it might be time to fucking retire it and go for an earlier fucking upgrade come Christmas time. We'll see. Yeah, so that is in instalments. That done, isn't it? Braked out, new top tube, new front rails. So I'll take a longer front end. It leaves the back end to do, where we're going to mount this. I'm really looking forward to doing this, but we need a few bits and bobs before we can carry on with that. We need the seat and we need all the shit. I've got to make spaces to fit the 3-spoke wheel in the back as well that matches, and we're going chain conversion, so there's still plenty to go at. Follow along, yeah. Follow along and we'll get this on its wheels and we'll have it looking badass. Fucking go. That's been my last few days working in the workshop. We will get on next video and finish that electrics box, and then we've got quite a big project coming up, so that'll be happy days, right? It just leaves me as always to say thanks for watching. If you like what you see, smash that like button, thumbs up, think about giving me a sub, hit that notification bell, check out all the bump in the description below, and I'll see you on the next one. Big love everyone, see you soon.